Now.
Did you open the meeting?
I did. We're gonna call this meeting in order. Madam Secretary, would you mind giving us the minutes from last meeting so we can approve those? And then we can get started.
Yes. So at our last meeting, we ended up, the group nominated April Hamlet for our new treasurer. She accepted the nomination, so now we have all of our positions filled for our officer roles. Woo-hoo, so that was a big task. And then we also, last meeting, Michelle recommended that we get fees and infos on the Chamber of Commerce or the Illinois Chamber of Commerce, just as an option. We were talking about ways that we can promote our organization, SIP. And that was one of the things that she recommended, so that was we just had a brief conversation about that. And then we talked about each group setting up their own LLCs, and Jessica let us know that the cost is $400 approximately. So it's going to be approximately $150 for each person, because we talked about each group of the LLCs consisting of 4 people. Of course, we can have more or less. As an individual, you can participate in more than one group if you want, if you have the time as well as the finances to be able to do that. But just for each group, we talk about a standard organization. It's going to be 4 people, and each person would have to pay. Actually, that's not $150. That's $100 per person to set up the LLC. We're also going to be passing around a list today for the Master LLC, which is for the SIP LLC. If you want to participate on the LLC for SIP itself, please include either your name or your business name, however you'd like for it to read on the LLC, along with your full address, your phone number, and your email. Please write legibly so that we can copy all of this stuff and type it up neatly, so we don't have to backtrack trying to say, what is this, what is this? I'm the biggest culprit of that, because my handwriting is horrible. We also talked about, the monthly meeting changing to today. So we'll go back to our normal meeting more towards the middle of the month. Next month, we had to move this one so late because of Father's Day last week. So that's the reason why this one was moved to the 23rd. We're also asked that everyone complete the credibility package information for their bio. A couple of weeks back, Jessica sent out, did we have it on?
I brought it to the meeting.
Okay.
And then some people, I had everybody that filled it out. I got them at home.
Because it was also on WhatsApp. She uploaded it for you to download and print it out if you wanted to. We were supposed to have filled out a bio form telling a little bit about ourselves, our name and so on, for the credibility package for the SIP group. Once the credibility, Jessica's gonna combine all of that information. Once we fill that out, she's going to complete and make one, and then she'll send everybody a copy after the credibility package is complete. Marlene offered to build the SIP website and host a class for members who want to learn how to build a website. Remember, you were going to post a class, so we're still waiting on that, and we understand everybody's busy, so that's okay.
I had asked on the group when you guys were available to meet, and I didn't get a response.
And nobody responded? Okay.
No.
I'm guilty of not seeing that.
It was a demo on like the website hosting service that I have. That way to show you guys how you guys can also do this.
Cause she was Yeah, she's gonna do the website for SIP, and we recommended that a lot of people would like to know how to build, a basic website for their companies. And so she offered to be nice enough and try to teach us the basics on a web-based meeting. So can you put that back in there again, now that everybody kind of knows to look for it? So you guys, watch the WhatsApp, try to at least touch base on it once a day, because we've been having a lot of good information posted in there. And we're not even utilizing it. People try to share stuff with us, and we're not even utilizing it. I'm guilty of that myself. When we had the meeting, that Keith was nice enough to teach us all these websites that he used, various applications and software that he uses each day to help locate and secure properties. He had been putting all that stuff in WhatsApp, and I was guilty of not even seeing it, or either I saw it, reading a quick text, and then I forgot about it, things like that. So go back and take a look, because all of the members are sharing fabulous tools and information and knowledge with each other. And then Keith, at the end of the meeting last month, he did a brief presentation on what he does. He talked about, being the owner of Pima Real Estate Investments and Consulting. And he talked about how he had to change his whole mindset first. First, we all have to change our mindset. And really know that this is something you can do and be successful at. And he changed the model of how he does business and of his corporation. And through utilizing various tools, he came from a budget of $5,000 a month to now exponential. And he's been kind enough to share with the group. That was also in the WhatsApp. We asked people if you want, and it was kind of last minute, so we apologize for that. But some of us were able to attend a meeting through the week, and he shared a lot of the tools that he uses in what he does on a daily basis. And you can ask any of us if you'd like for us to share some of that information with you. Unfortunately, we weren't able to videotape it. So I'd like to ask, does everybody agree to the minutes?
I make a motion that the minutes are approved.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, we'll continue on with today's agenda. We left on everyone's table. If you don't have one, we have some extras up here, an agenda today. So you guys see we're getting professional. So we actually have a formal agenda. And we're already taking attendance. You guys just approved the minutes. So now we're moving down to new business, which is Roman numeral 4. So we're going to talk about the entity formation, and then Yvette, when she comes, and Angie is going to talk about the Pembroke project that they attended earlier on this week and what's going on with that. And then Keith is going to talk about the Vanderpool project. And then Jessica's going to talk about the Roseland and West Pullman project. And then we'll address any other miscellaneous things that we talk about. And that comes up. Any questions from anyone before we get, yes?
I've had this question, I talked to Keith a little bit about it, but then I just kind of went back to my thoughts and I still had a question.
Right.
So I was just wondering again, if we wanted to, so I guess like, how would we bring something to the table, if we were to invite other investors into the project?
There's one seat up here.
And like, what is, so I know that you said like, for us to promote our business to other, like to the Chamber of Commerce of Chicago or Illinois, what would be the purpose of that?
Wait 1 second, they're probably trying to sit together.
Uh-huh. Yes, they are.
Do you mind moving up with me so they can have your face? Is somebody sitting next to you?
Yeah, that's where my spot at.
Just pull up a chair over there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put the chair over there, Justin?
You want me to move?
I do it. You want to chair?
What we, I'm so sorry.
Marlene, can we address that at the end? We can circle back to that.
You asked how,
We got a
bring
lot of
somebody
stuff
else?
to address this.
Yeah,
Is that?
a lot of good information. Okay. If there's no, we actually introduced you a few minutes ago, Yvette, right?
Yes.
As part of the agenda.
Okay.
So we do have a spot for you to actually share all this wonderful information with us. Right after we talk about the entity formation, you'll be up next.
Okay, thank you.
And, I'll set a agenda over here. And we're ready for you.
So, the entity formation, did you start passing this? Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a, sheet going around where, Marsha's already asked you to put your name and or entity name, however you want it to go on SIP. If you don't wanna be a part of the parent group SIP, then don't fill it out. That's only for the people that are gonna be on the parent group, of SIP. Because the people that are on the parent group or SIP are gonna be the ones that are gonna split the cost for the formation of SIP. And then everybody else from there, when they get their own entities, will be paying for their own entities. The SIP benefit, no, we only benefit by putting our name out there as a group, you all are part of it. Whatever it is that you do is gonna be a reflection on the group. Otherwise, you would have to pay, and I think it's only gonna be like $50 to form your entity under the parent company, as opposed to $150 if everybody gets their own entity when they get ready to do a project. So that's why we decided to go with the parent company, just have series up underneath, and that way you all will save $100 for each LLC that's being formed. So if you don't wanna be a part of it, because in order for me to create the entity SIP, I have to have everybody's information to put on the form when I file with the state. And then from there, we'll get the EIN, and then we can start doing everything else, like, getting together for those that are part of it, because those that are part of it will also be responsible for coming up with whatever money we need to go into the bank account to get our bank account going. Because we have to have that in order to be legit, really. We need to have a bank account. So if you don't wanna be a part of the parent company, just bypass that form, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. This is only for people that want to be a part of the parent company, SIP. Okay?
Justin,
Yes.
did you, have y'all, you and Keith elaborated the benefit of being part of the parent company?
No, we didn't elaborate on the benefit of being a part of the parent company. It's just that the parent company would probably be the main ones responsible for all the stuff that's going on. Like, I would presume that the parent company would be out there, putting our name out there in these neighborhoods. We're not asking, like, let's say four of you all get together and say, oh, I found this property or whatever, and you wanna go work on it. And you're working on it under SIP. Well, SIP is the group that's gonna go out and do the legwork and work with, the aldermen and everybody else in the community to let them know we have people that can come in and revive this community. So those people that are part of SIP are the ones that are gonna be out there doing that stuff. Just like some of you all have these handouts where I pulled up from the MLS, 38 properties in Roseland, 38 properties in West Pullman that are all 150 or less that need work on. So we hadn't decided which area we were gonna go with. As a SIP member in the parent company, somebody can be designated, you know, maybe they'll go talk to whoever the alderman is in West Pullman and let them know, you know, we have a group of investors here and we wanna help revive the area. And we need your cooperation, you know, somebody that's a good talker.
What's gonna separate us from everybody else in the community to say those things? What gonna make us stand out, because everybody else is doing the same thing? What take?
Well, everybody's not doing the same thing.
They are.
No,
Name
we're
'em.
not coming together as a
Who?
group and trying to buy a block at a time.
Who's doing that already? So
I
maybe
only
we can
know
look at they and
one-
see who they
one-
doing.
That one guy that was in, what is it, South Shore area? That had that group of people that were bringing up the South Shore area. There aren't too many people of color groups,
Okay, all right.
because what we're also gonna be trying to do is get designations. You know, we wanna be designated as the people of color, whatever the, minority groups, women, veterans. Get all of those designations to go with us so that we can start getting funding or whatever else.
I remember my email and stuff
Beth knows a
address.
lot about this stuff, but she got all these little titles going behind her name. And certification, she got all the designations, so she's been through it. And it helps when you're trying to do something. And we're trying to elevate a community. We're trying to bring funds into the community. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're doing it
I'm
as-
real good for Commissioner Sam, real good for
Okay, what area is that?
She's, I forget what she was. but
Cause
she-
see, I don't know the Chicago area like that, you know, so I don't know who the aldermen are, and I'm gonna
She's
have to get
commissioner,
familiar.
she retired commissioner, we still have ties to the city. of Chicago.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to get familiar with the goings on in the city. But that's what the parent company would do. Those people that are dealing with the children LLCs, as we call it, are the ones that are gonna do the work. Not that you're not gonna get the accolades, because you still get the accolades because you did the work. But what everyone will see is, this is SIP, we're coming in, we're doing this is what we're doing, we're buying back the block. We're putting money back into the community. We're giving revenue to that. We're not buying a house on 117th and then going to 124th or whatever, house here, house there. We're trying
You know
to,
T.L. Harlan?
huh?
T.L. Harlan? Ceasefire?
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
ceasefire thing, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, see, that's what I'm saying.
See, I go in there talking to
Okay,
them.
so-
So I
Okay,
think what she's trying to say.
What's it, but if we go
Focus.
to- everything's political.
Yes, we
Well,
know it's
understand
everything is
that,
political.
but I think what she's trying to convey is that the parent company, SIP, will designate three, like either the president, vice president, and secretary. Will go and sit down
Okay.
with those individuals, representing the group, and then indicate to them that we're going to target some areas to focus on rehabilitation.
Yeah, I'll listen to you.
And that's exactly what we intend to do. And the individual groups, they can identify which addresses of which properties that they intend to rehab in a particular block. And all of us could do one block. Each group, each child group can do a block at a time.
Go ahead, just finish what you're saying, sorry.
Well,
Go- go.
I'm basically finished. Really.
I just want to help you
But-
understand where we were
But
going.
that's what we're going, yeah.
Yeah, I think it just tags along with the same question that I was asking earlier, because I was still confused about that, like what is the difference, like if we want to promote this to other, businesses or investors to be part of this, I'm guessing like they would be part of SIP as well, right?
Right.
You're saying the people part of the mother LLC are like the managers, right?
Yes, yes.
So, that was my question, like how far do we wanna take this? We would be inviting people to be part of these groups and be
Yeah,
part of
we-
SIP, right? And they would still
Exactly.
be part of SIP,
They
right?
still will be part of SIP. They're just not gonna be, they could like be the people that go out there, do the rehabs or whatever. We don't have a problem with that. We're not benefiting financially from it. That's not what we're looking for. The people that are benefiting financially are the ones that are gonna create their LLC up under SIP. The SIP is gonna be the main group,
Parent company.
the parent company. And then the 4 people or whatever that create the smaller LLC, we're basically saving you money. Because if we just say, okay, go get your own LLC, now, I mean, some people have their own LLC, most people do. If you've been in business, if you've been in real estate, you already have an LLC. So if you're not, working with somebody else within the group and you're just doing it on your own, and you're gonna do it up under your own LLC, and you wouldn't have to get form another LLC. But if you're partnering with somebody else because maybe you don't have the time, or maybe you don't have the reserves, or it's something that you're missing and you need somebody else to join, you need to form a new LLC. And instead of paying $150 for every LLC that you create, it would only be $50. And then you can always make changes down the line on that particular LLC once it's formed.
Okay, so then the point of, us having the umbrella LLC is so that we can help apply for grants, right? That would
Yes.
help, like, represent
Right.
the group as a whole, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I was just wondering more like the definition of like what our group
Because
is gonna
look at it
be.
this way, you have your LLC, and you probably could get, certified as a minority and a woman, let's just say, okay, it's your LLC. But if you're not a vet, you wouldn't be able to get that, but the parent company could, because we have veterans in the, in the parent company. So it benefits those that are underneath, because anything we can get financially or funding or get the go-ahead, it's gonna be coming from the parent company and trickle down to those below.
So we would be inviting other investors to be part of this group that we're focused on though, right?
If you wanna bring somebody else in, we don't have a problem with that. They still, I mean, they're not gonna be outcasts, if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, so our goal is to expand into more, bigger
Yeah,
group, right?
we're not trying to be mastery or nothing. Right?
No,
I'm not trying.
But,
I'm just saying, we're not trying to get too big that, we can't keep our eye on the prize. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We started off as a small group, we've expanded. I'm not trying to get overwhelmed to the point where we've got 300 people in the group.
right.
And that's not what we're trying to keep it limited, not to say nobody else can come, because as you can see, there's not a lot of people here. Everybody knew the meeting was today, and I know people have other things to do, and they reach out through WhatsApp, which is fine, but for those people that are silent and don't say anything, then we want people that are gonna be active. And if you know an investor that's going to be active and make some kind of movement, that is what we're looking for.
Right, right. So I was just wondering, because we mentioned about like how our website and we wanted to market to other, like, you know, to a bigger chamber of commerce and things like that. So I was just wondering
Okay.
what our goal is with that.
And it's also, to piggyback on what Jessica was saying, the credibility package with SIP is gonna help every group that's formed under SIP.
So
And that's
the-
why we ask for the bios,
So the
because
credit-
everybody's bio is gonna go up in there as to what you've already done. You know, because it's gonna be hard, let's say, it would be hard if I've never done a project and I'm in this group and I'm like, okay, here's my credibility package, I wanna rehab houses, but I haven't really done anything. But I work with people that do, and here's what they've done. So their experience is still my experience, and it's a collaborative. And that's why we ask for the bios. The bios will go in the credibility package, the credibility package will be promoted to whoever we're marketing to, and then that's how we're gonna go. That's how we're trying. We're not out, and I think I know where you were going with this. We don't want the website to say, hey, do you wanna invest? That's not what we're looking for.
Right. So what you're saying, we wanna have at least, let's say they got 10 houses on this block. We got the funding and the experience to go take care of those 10 houses, that's what we're
Right,
saying.
right. What we want the website to do is basically say, this is what we're doing, this is where we're doing it, and then once we're finished, now we're selling. You know what I'm saying? We wanna be able to market those properties through our website. But we're out there rehabbing the neighborhood, buying back the block, and we have people that can do that. Okay? So, that's the end of my,
That's great. A little housekeeping, we want to try to, since we've got such a large agenda today, we want to try to limit it to 30 minutes per session. Or less. Because then after that, if we have any time for questions, we can address everybody's questions. Fair enough?
so now, we move on to the Pembroke project.
Excuse me? Okay, for those of you who have never met this young lady, Miss Yvette Jones Swanson is a,
Okay.
to say she's an expert when it comes to Veterans Affairs and placing veterans in homes is a serious understatement. This lady is phenomenal. She's well known when it comes to Veterans Affairs and housing, housing for veterans. So it's my pleasure and an honor to present my friend, who I value a lot, Miss Yvette Jones Swanson and Angelique Little.
Angelique can open up. Do you want somebody else to take your phone in?
No, nothing to open up. I can just highlight. You already provided a highlight to everybody on what's up about what happened, and you just go ahead and go into detail of what's going on, right?
I'm very interested in knowing how that meeting went. She highlighted a lot of stuff, but if you could share with us how the meeting went with the mayor and how you envision that Pembroke project to go, because I'm truly excited.
Where is it? Where's it at?
It's a thing called Google. Really, I'm into doing a lot of research, so if you Google it, you can see exactly where it is. Because I can't tell you that. That's one thing, not trying to be facetious or,
But I get you after.
yeah. But really, it's nestled between here and there, and you drive right past it because it's just grass, you never know. So look at it on the map, and then when it's time to take a road trip down there, that's what we will do. And then just be like, that you were right.
But it is what, like 2 hours, 3
Yes, I
hours?
can't tell you that.
Mm-mm.
No.
It's in Kankakee. It's
Oh,
in
Kankakee.
Yeah, Kankakee County.
That's all you know.
M- Yeah.
That's that way. But anyway, so the meeting,
This will count.
the meeting went extremely well with this mayor, as they have been with every mayor. The state rep and the senator, everybody is on board of the engaging the community and building a village specifically for veterans. This particular village is nestled right here. It's in red. It's 1 mile long, and the owner of this land is interested in buying more land, going both directions. And there's also a room for investors to buy land on this side of the street for commercial buildings and stores. So this mayor is also a veteran. And he is ecstatic about having the community, which is proposed to be 55 and over. Because where this land is, and you see all this brown space, there's hardly anything in the brown space. It's not developed. So that's where we come in. Maybe a few blocks over, there's developed community with single family houses, but it cuts off at the cul-de-sac. So it might be 20 houses on that one block or so. This is 1 mile long. And we can get anywhere between 65 to 80 houses. 65 to 80 houses. So, a developer has been identified, and it just so happened. I'm a federal contractor with all the acronyms that was mentioned. Jessica. So I'm sorry.
She had a senior moment, that's all.
Right, yeah, so, 65, what was that?
The contractor have been
Oh,
identified.
yeah, right, so, the Forest Preserve had a bid for contractors, to come and assess the job of removing the waste that people take to the Forest Preserve. Old tires and paint and solvents and, I'm like, really? Big TVs and, I'm like, really? So it's a lot of stuff that this contract that my partner wants us to bid on. We've already started that process. He's getting pricing of how much it's gonna cost for somebody to come and test this stuff, because some of it's unknown. So I met these contractors and they have been around so long. He said, you know, we build from the ground, and on the way down to the meeting with the developer, I was telling my husband, we need to find a company that will cut down all these trees. Because when I say this land is undeveloped, I mean, the trees have been there probably since the first, in the time. Really, you got the sand hills, I mean, it's raw land. So, and I said, we gotta find somebody to come cut down all those trees. Now, will they wanna buy the trees, or will get paid for cutting down the trees? I have no idea, so I have to research that. And I was mentioning this to the contractor, he said, oh, we do that. Everything that we need for this project to build a whole entire village. Well, you know, that's what they were doing in their hometown anyway. So we have identified the contractor. So I'll be meeting with the contracting company this week to determine, I have a whole list of things that we need to, the civil engineer, they have that. The developer, and you guys will be talking to the developers, because the community will be a cohesive community. Single-family homes, ADA compliant, because in a 55 and over aging community, you know, right, we need that.
Yes.
For that environment in the house. So, I don't know what else to tell you. I put this letter in the group. Did I put this letter in the group?
I don't think you put the letter.
I do have a quick question.
Yes.
The single-family homes, that you're talking about building, do you have the specifications, like the minimum number of bedrooms, or how?
Square footage and roofs?
One story, 2 stories, or they rent two?
Everything's still being worked on.
Okay.
I'm meeting the developer this week.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know if that's a flood zone at all?
I'm meeting the developer this week. Any questions like that, I'm gonna introduce my niece. She's licensed
Hey, niece.
realtor. And she got her experience at another company, and now she's with me, thank goodness.
Ah.
So,
Sorry, what's your name?
Margaret Blackman.
Blackman? Okay, nice to meet you.
Now, one of the things, you know, one of the things that Yvette has requested is that if you have interest in this project, she's still in the development stage, or she's in the infancy stage of it right now. But if you're interested in this project, which I'm excited about, she's requesting that those who are interested present her or provide her with a letter of interest or a letter of intent. So she can include you and or your entity when we're ready to launch. Because I'm gonna have both feet in this project, trust me.
Have y'all visited the planning department yet?
She's in the development infancy stages of this project right now. And she's putting all the right pieces together. So when she comes and has it all formulated, we can meet with her, the developers, the mayor, engineers, everybody who's going to be involved, and let them know that we're the people who are interested and that we want to develop that land.
I have a question, Yvette. If you wanted to bring, investors to the project, what is it that, like, how would the structure be? Like, how much do you have to invest? Would they
I'm
be
gonna
able-
read this thank you letter. We just sat down with the mayor last week. We didn't discuss any of that because that's not on the table yet. We're still here with you guys as investors, so let's focus on you in the room. All right, so this is a letter, thanking the mayor for his time. We met with him last week Thursday. So dear Mayor Hodge, she's the mayor of Hopkins Park, Illinois, Pembroke Township, Illinois. So if you guys really wanna know about this area, Google the history, look at it. This is a historic area in the Midwest, very historic. Proposal for Veterans Village in Hopkins Park. It was an honor to meet with you and to present all our collective vision of creating a Veterans Village in Hopkins Park, Illinois. We at Vet Mentors LLC are dedicated to building communities and restoring lives, particularly in the veteran community here in the United States. It is truly inspiring to see your community to give back to your childhood home where you rooted your legacy. So the mayor of Pembroke grew up in Pembroke, and he's also a former Marine. So everything about this project he wants to see happen. Oh, the next one. So we envision a 55 and over Veterans Village in Hopkins Park named in honor of Vietnam Army veteran John Anderson, who is the current owner of the land you see here in red. This village aims to serve as a sanctuary for our aging veterans by providing affordable and ADA compliant homes. This initiative is aimed to addressing the growing need for housing among veterans, thereby contributing significantly to the local community. Our proposed plan focuses on constructing homes that meet the specific needs of this population, ensuring that they are not only affordable, but also accessible to those with disabilities. We believe this will not only provide secure housing for our veterans, but also spur development and community spirit in Hopkins Park. The next step in our initiative is to prepare a comprehensive plan for the development of Veterans Village and the surrounding area. We are deeply committed to this cause and are committed on moving forward with the project to its successful completion. You are graciously invited to meet and present our plan to the board July 18th, 2024 at your office. He's invited our group, Vet Mentors and Associates, to come and present the plan that we're creating right now to the board of Hopkins Park, so that they can say either yes, or we've got questions, or flat out no, or, but my thing is not now. It's never no. So if you all, whoever is interested, like Keith said, send your letter of interest. Email me your letter of interest, and then that'll be put in here, and we're looking for, after the land is cleared, and, we don't need copies, you wanna read it?
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
Give them a sample of what it looked like.
Okay, and, so when the land is ready, individual PIN numbers, the 65 to 80 homes, so each of those PIN numbers will be sold as one lot. And that'll be the investors' engagement at that time to secure funding, but the funding is already there, because the veteran will be bringing their VA home loan to have you as their developer to build that house.
So we have to find veterans?
No, you don't.
Yvette does all that.
Oh, so.
And a beautiful
we don't
niece.
bring anything, we just put our name?
You ain't gotta worry about
Let me
that.
see if I can clear that up, because I don't think she's doing a great job of explaining it.
Oh, that's
She's
right.
spearheading this thing. We're just following her lead, and when she sets everything up and has it prepared, she will tell each one of us, each entity, because I know my entity will be looking to her to guide us through each parcel,
Yes.
each parcel.
I
And
mean,
who-
but I'm just trying to understand, like, do we need to bring in money, like, or,
We're
since you
gonna
said
get
we
that
need to
part.
secure
So
funding.
you have, so each parcel, like, each parcel is being sold. So if you're that developer, what's her name?
Marlena.
So Marlena, if you're, let's say you wanna develop lots 60, 61, and 62. You got 3 lots. So you have to secure those lots as the developer, you have to buy them. And then the veteran will be driving down, oh, I like lot 61.
Oh, okay.
So I want this house to be, my house to be built on lot 61, I'm gonna bring my VA loan, so you, Marlena, the
Make
developer.
my money back.
Huh?
Make my money back?
You're gonna
Build the
a
house.
You're gonna build
You're
a
gonna build a house on a vacant lot.
Okay,
You're buying
you
a
gotta
vacant
tell her,
lot.
I can't,
I'll
I'm done with that,
help
okay.
her, but
So,
I did have a question. Just because we talked about a little bit about the history of the hemp there.
Yes,
And,
yes.
We just did the hemp workshop, and we just did like the first permitted, building in Illinois in King County, just over the weekend. And I met this awesome guy, he does a nonprofit, Hemp for Humanity, that's what he does. He does a nonprofit, and I wanna get him to kinda help us with maybe making, kind of an idea of like these hemp homes. I mean, I can kinda go over the benefits of it all, when there's more time, but, I feel like those things, like especially for veterans, making sure that it's mold resistant
Right.
and things of that nature.
Well, you know what? Check this out. Don't tell me. Put it in your letter of interest. Add that information.
Beautiful. So that's what
Well, certain things, I got families of veterans, so there's certain type of criteria they have to meet too. So it's-
I'm a veteran myself,
You are too.
and I've been housing homeless veterans
Oh, you have?
to home ownership for the past 21 years. In my tenure in this profession, I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans and thousands of them to home ownership, and becoming investors and business owners as well.
So for the you probably don't know, for the veterans that qualify for one of those lots, what is the criteria for those investments?
You gotta buy the lot.
No, what are the veterans qualify?
They get a VA home loan. They have to,
But question, they still have to meet the requirements.
yeah, they have to go, right, and I have a lender, we've got lenders on the team already I do veteran home buying seminars at the VA, been doing those for 11 years. So the veteran, they wanna buy a house, they gotta go apply for a home loan with one of our approved lenders.
Okay.
They get that home loan,
I
they come.
got cousins veterans, they too know how to process their lease, they
I
got new
understand,
vehicles.
but if she's spearheading this project, and she's the one, the veterans who goes to her veteran seminar will be interested, because she's going to introduce them
Or two.
to
To this
the
project.
project.
With billboards on the 57 and the Bishop
So
Ford.
if your cousin is interested, or your family member is interested in acquiring one of these properties that we're developing, you should be putting them in touch with
What
her.
I'm saying, they buy houses, with their veteran VA loan. So I'm asking them, with these veterans, they're homeless veterans, how can they qualify for a home if you got to meet certain type of criteria?
I have a seminar this Thursday at the VA. I would suggest you come down to that seminar, because those questions will be addressed at the seminar, not right here. Right, I know what it takes for a veteran to get a VA loan. They're ready for a VA loan, go apply for the VA loan and come back and buy your house.
Okay.
The ins and out about that will be Thursday at the VA.
Which VA?
Jesse Brown, 1140, I'll put it in the group, so you can register and come. No. It's on California Roosevelt. Any more questions?
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Now, I'm not sure, but anybody else can look at my face, but I am truly excited about the two projects that we have going on right now, and we're doing this simultaneously. That just goes to show you just how aggressive this group is we're pursuing our local communities, and we're doing development in southern Illinois. And we're very, very serious about this. Very serious.
Yes.
And just a great introduction, Mr. Elsie, you can start to tell us about the Vanderpool project.
Thank you. Now this is gonna be even briefer than hers, and I'm gonna need everybody's close attention on this one, because this is truly a remarkable opportunity. Recently, I've acquired a property, in the Beverly area. And if you have your phones out, I'm gonna give you the address. That's 9340.
Trying to get there already.
9340 South Vanderpool. Pole.
P.O.
93.
It's P-O-E.
One more
That's B-O-E-L.
One more time.
9340
93.
South Vanderpool.
That's P-O-E-L.
Home.
Beverly.
Oh.
It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,500 square feet. 2,500, because they've had some additions on this. Now, this is a fix and flip project that I'm offering equity shares on this project. Equity shares. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with equity shares, we've had this property, the appraiser was just out there the other week. We've got everything that's needed for this property in terms of funding. Our hard money lender's already been secured. The only thing we're looking for are gap funders. And the gap funder will receive 10% of the net profit when this property is sold. Yes. I do. How about this one? But I got it. Hold on. Originally I have 40%. Wait, let me start from the beginning first. That's what I think. The purchase price on this property was $375,000. That was the purchase price. Our rehab on this property was projected at $50,000. Buckle up, because I'm about to get to the juicy part. The after repair value on this thing is a minimum of $600,000. ARV?
Yes.
The ARV, minimum $600,000.
It's in Beverly.
In Beverly.
Oh, Beverly's so pretty. I've been there once.
I was there this weekend.
I stayed there.
Some family
It is
friends had a
so
party.
challenging to get into
I was going
Beverly.
out there.
Believe me, I had to pull some magic strings to get this property. So, with that being said,
You had a contract that rolled, and you have, cost or?
yes, yes. We went,
Rehab is minimal.
oh, very minimal, all cosmetic. All cosmetic. We'll be in and out of there in 3 to 4 weeks, max. Max. What's needed for the gap? $35,000. No, it's 35. 35. See, I'm not gonna see the receipt. Now, unfortunately, there's only 2 spots left. 2 of them have already been purchased
So it's 35,000 for each.
for each.
You said 10% each or 30% each?
It's 10% for each individual. 10% of the net proceeds when that property sells at that $600,000. After all expenses have been paid, they get their initial $35,000 back, plus an additional 10% of any of the proceeds. So I cannot determine what that number is right now until we get to that point. But trust me, we have a market, days on market in that vicinity of Beverly is 30 days or less. 30 days or less. That property will not, once we get finished with our rehab, and we hand that over to Mr. Frank Montreux and his team, that property will not.
Help us out here, I agree with you, Jay.
What is Frank, a realtor?
Frank is a managing broker.
He's a magician.
Trust me,
Yeah.
because we just completed a project in Linwood, and we handed it over to Frank to sell for us. That property was on the market for maybe 45 days, and he got us a full price offer on that property. Full price, and it is already closed, it's gone. So, when we do this one, so, I can only suggest, I can't, it's good if you wanna get in on this opportunity, now is the time. Because I wanted to reserve, one of my other funding partners is out of the country right now. And he normally jumps in on these type of deals, so if you, I wanna hold a spot for him, but if you guys wanna jump on this right now, I can tell him he'll get on the next one.
Always thinking, always thinking, right?
But he's out of the country.
She said, what do we need
Well,
to send
so
you?
you,
If I wanna get on the
if
project.
you wanna get on the project, just send me an email to let me know that you wanna be in with the 35,000. I'll send you a JV and promissory note. Thank you. You will get a JV and a promissory note. The JV commits you to the project. The promissory note is your commitment, or my commitment, that we're gonna be paying you back the 10% of the overall proceeds, of the net proceeds. of the
So I don't have to do nothing, just be.
You don't do nothing.
I love it.
You don't do nothing. You just sit back and wait for the rain. Because we got everything already done. Hard money's in place, contractors in place. All we need is to patch up that gap, and we're off to the races. And in fact, we're gonna be closing, we've already got a closing day scheduled for the second week in July. The appraisal was just conducted yesterday? Yesterday. So we haven't even gotten, back. The insurance is already being set up. We just walked that property yesterday.
Now, I know with, most lenders, they like to be the first lien holder. I never did a gap, so what do the gap funders require when you go through
The gap, you're the gap funder.
this? Yeah, I know, but
You mean what is the
Second
benefit
position.
to the,
She wanna make sure she's secured.
what
That's
is
what she
your
asked.
main position?
That's what she asked.
and-
Well, she's in second.
Second position.
Second position, yeah.
And my primary lender
Be first.
is in the first position, and anybody wanna take a guess who the first lien holder is on this? I introduced you to them the last time we sat down.
Frank want
No.
No,
The
the lender.
Oh, something flip,
I told you.
Something flip.
Has a drive.
Oh, you mean the name of the company?
yeah, something flip,
Huh?
go flip, something flip,
Backflip.
backflip. I'm like, something flip, backflip.
Flipped upside down.
They're not only funding this project, they're already funding a project that I'm closing next week. They're closing 2 loans simultaneously. So backflip, and they're closing them. Now, I thought Alex was fast.
Right.
With this backflip, they don't fool around. We're talking minimum.
Is that minority owned company or the,
I wish.
oh, yeah, the
They
picture?
put, they put that,
They
put
just
up 20%.
advertise like that.
Great question. It was 20%. They did a 80% loan.
Okay.
They did a 100% rehab.
Mhm.
Okay.
10%, 10 and a quarter interest, 1.5 points.
Okay, great.
Magic. And they close, since I have a history with them, they can close in 7 to 10 days.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I'm saying, if you wanna be on board with this one, pony up and get on board this train, because this one is gonna be leaving the station. Choo-choo, and it's gonna close quickly. And my interior designer was walking through there yesterday, and she was like, geez, this is minimal. You could be in it.
It's very minimal. Just, the house needs to be painted. I'll just give you a lowdown on what needs to be done. The house needs to be painted. They're gonna have to put flooring in on the first floor because some of the tiles are cracked. The good thing is, you can just put the flooring on top. You don't even have to tear it up. Because it's not that damaged that you need to tear it out. And then, painting, like I said, painting upstairs. The bathrooms are excellent, because the lady gutted the house about maybe 10, 15 years ago, something like that. So she redid the whole thing. When we say gut, we mean she tore out all the drywall and redid everything. So, the kitchen cabinets, they're red, they're shiny, they're in good condition. We're leaving them, they just need to be cleaned. The floors that are wood, it's all hardwood upstairs. They're in perfect condition, don't have to do anything to it. There's only 2 places that have carpet. That is the living area and the closet upstairs in the bedroom. That will come out, and depending on the condition of the wood, which it looked like it might have been kind of bad, that may be the only thing where they may have to redo the wood on the floor if it's that damaged. Otherwise, they'll just put the luxury vinyl plank right on top if we can't salvage the hardwood. The majority of the money is going to be spent in the basement. The basement is going to be turned into a theater. So there's a fireplace down there, wood burning. Basically, we're just going to be painting, putting vinyl plank down, and putting in theater seats. There'll be a projection screen and a projector, overhead projector, recessed lighting, and that's kind of it.
How many square feet is?
25. 2.5 car garage.
Right,
It's got-
and it's got an
huge
addition,
back there.
they made a breezeway between the garage and the house, so that the person didn't have to walk from
Four
the garage
bedrooms.
to the side.
How many garage, how many 2 cars? What about the,
Some doctor.
The roof is architectural, they just had it fixed because they had some leakage come in, so it looks in very decent shape. And it's got like a balcony right off of the bathroom upstairs, it's a door that you go outside of, and it's a little area right there, so we were able to see the roof up close and personal.
Actually, architectural, you said the roof is.
The architectural shingles look different from the 3-tab. The 3-tab is old, and you can tell the difference if you look. The architectural kind of overlap or something. The 3-tab are just like flat. You know, it's a big difference between the two.
See, I wanted to introduce this to the family first, because I know I can get jump in on this. I believe in family first. gonna call Yvette. Introduce to her Steve, but she's extremely busy. She just got, yeah, she's busy right now, she just.
Look, what's the time? She too busy right now.
But that's basically it now. If you're interested again, just shoot me an email to let me know you're interested. And if you don't make this, trust me, I always have problems. But I would love to have my family join me on, in the JV. Always.
And if you don't have the 35, maybe you can partner up with somebody that'll get you to, y'all can split. And then instead of 10%, each of you will get 5% if you're putting up equal shares.
Pretty soon I'll be your first one. Pretty soon I'll be your first position.
Looking forward to that, Fred.
6 months from
All right, that's all I have. So, any questions on that? Because that is an opportunity that I know that was. Any questions?
You have photos you can probably share with me? That one sounds
Say
amazing.
that again?
Photos of any sort? Of what you have
Yes,
on
I
you?
do. Send me an email and I'll send you everything I have on it. I have all the details.
Beautiful. All right.
Everything from the CMA, I've got the lender's term sheet, I've got the flip calculator that, would I introduce you guys to?
Yeah,
On
really.
WhatsApp?
Right.
I've got the flip calculator. And I have all the photos. I can send you the link. All the interior and exterior photos. This place is laid out.
Thank you so much, Keith.
Yes,
Now we're gonna move on.
All right.
Our next item on our agenda today is the Roseland project. So Jessica is to talk about the Roseland and West Pullman project.
Okay, so some of you all have these printouts. I didn't have enough for everyone, it was a lot of pages.
There's an extra one here for
One is Roseland and one is West Pullman.
Oh, okay,
So
no,
they're
I'm
not
sorry.
here. One is Roseland, one is West Pullman. You all can share. Basically, because we have not decided which area we're gonna do, I pulled both. And what I did was I did a search in the MLS for properties that were 150 or less that probably need some work on. And this is what we came up with, and it's 38 in each area that I want to pick. I was surprised it was exactly 38 for both. So what this does is it gives you some idea of where the properties are, how many beds, how many baths, the type of house, whether it's a 1-story, 2-story, 1.5. The top sheet tells you the listing days that it's been on the market, and then the market time, and then what the listing price is. For each one of those. If you switch over, then I put in a Excel sheet. On the Excel sheet, it's basically got the same information, but if you're interested, I can email it to you, because from the Excel sheet, I can do a sort, and I can arrange it where if we're buying the block, I can see which particular block we need to focus on first. And then we would be able to like go and start talking in that area, because we can say, hey, we got some people that are interested in rehabbing these houses. There's 3 houses on this block, try to get some, real community involved. Or the alderman, maybe they can help us move forward. But this gives us, allows me to do a different kind of sort. And then here's the map that I printed. So it shows
That's
where
Roseland,
exactly
that's
the
West
properties
Pullman.
are listed. The one that's got WP on it, West Pullman,
She talking about
there's
West
a lot
Pullman.
of properties, I think it's like 6 properties on 117. That are in real close proximity. If you see, up near the top, you'll see a bunch of little green circles. That one had the biggest one of, properties that were listed all like within that one area. So we were interested in starting with West Pullman and buying that block. That's what we could start. And I think the highest price on that one was $139,000. I haven't looked at the pictures, but if you go to the next few, you'll see the outside. I printed up like a short summary from the MLS with a picture and telling you what, about, you know, most of them, if you see it says rehabbers investors, rehabbers investors. Some of them are occupied, some of them are not. So, some of them have tenants. We may wanna bypass those for now, because we're really not trying to put anybody out, they're renting, you know, it could be a board landlord for all we know. I would rather work with a vacant property than work with somebody that has a tenant in it. If it's an owner, that's one thing, because they may be trying to move, but if it's a tenant, let them stay there, do whatever, let somebody else take that on. But a lot of what you'll notice is that, some of them say investors, calling all investors, handyman, whatever like that. You're able to go and check these yourself and see if this is something you wanna work on as an investor, if it's worth your while. I didn't go into detail about it because we still haven't formed our entity yet. So I didn't wanna go too much into it and say, okay, this is where we're gonna start. And here it is, if anybody's interested, you know, we need to get everything formatted first. But this is just to give you an idea of how we'll be targeting properties and what they're gonna be looking like. And then at that point, you can pick and choose and say, hey, I'm interested in that property. You wanna partner up with 3 other people in the room. That's how you form your entity. Select that property. We'll go and talk, you know, if we're gonna, we gotta decide first. Are we gonna start with Roseland? We're gonna start with West Pullman. I don't wanna start intermingling. I really don't. I'd rather stick to one area, and then we work on that area, then we can move on to the next. So, does anybody have any questions about these?
Thank you so much for this. This is fabulous and a lot of work. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have some questions about abbreviation on this DChat, the very first page, just not knowing, realtor terminology. In the status column where it says ACTV.
Active.
Okay.
It's an active listing. These are all active listings, and the PRIV are private listings, which means you're not gonna find them if you run through Redfin.
Okay, and then,
The SCI has to do with, like if it's a short sale of in these court approval or something like that, and you see on there, some of these say short sale on the Roseland one, you see one is a short sale and one is court approval. So even though the price is listed at $125 for the court approval, it has to be approved for that price or whatever price we offer. Let's say we go in and look at it and we're like, oh, we wanna buy for 100. It's gotta be approved by the court first.
Is it in bankruptcy?
No. I don't know what the situation is, why it's in court. It could be in probate for all we know.
Probate, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which ones are those?
The one that, okay, if you look on the one that's got the R at the top,
Roseland.
you see one that says court approval is at 10112 South LaSalle,
What number is it?
number 27.
The ones that say
Corner
RICT, the abbreviation.
Court approval required.
Oh,
It says court approval required.
Yeah,
huh, it must be fixed. It's okay.
And I think what she did was a pretty good thing, because it gives you a preview of what our intention. We intend on going into that particular neighborhood, be it Roseland or West Pullman. We're gonna identify a target area where the parent group is gonna be targeting an area. Each child group is gonna take a parcel from that area and redevelop.
Are we voting on this next meeting? After reviewing the areas ourselves, or?
Yeah, well, what I'd like to, suggest, if anybody's interested, because I don't know these areas, so I'd like to spend a day, maybe 2 days, one day for Roseland, another day for West Pullman, and if we wanna do like a carpool,
Drive through.
we can go and
So
try to look at some.
we need to, if you all wanna do that, that's fine, and then the next meeting, you can say, well, hey, I'd rather do West Pullman first,
Yeah,
as
right.
opposed to doing Roseland.
Yeah, my question is, do you know the difference in ARV for these two areas?
Great question.
The answer's
Not
no.
yet,
Not
not
yet,
yet,
not yet.
not yet.
I will do that, work on that, because they did have some properties that exceeded. I just put a limit at 150, because at first I didn't put a price point at the end, and it pulled up, and I'm like, okay, I don't wanna see no $300,000 house, I wanna see a 250. I'm not trying to buy a 250 house, we trying to buy something low and sell
That's
high.
where I was gonna go.
Okay.
Just, we gotta make sure that the target areas that we're gonna do, that's our whole point of buying distressed properties. We're buying distressed. The worse condition, the better we like it.
But then again, that work condition, you remember the money that you put in, when you reap the money on the outside, because you can throw.
Well, that's why they want to know what the ARVs are
Yeah,
gonna look
right.
like,
You
so.
throw 75 and only gonna make
You all
15.
you all have to realize this is just preliminary work right
Okay,
here.
great.
This is just to give you an idea
Absolutely.
of how we're gonna be looking for the properties.
Right.
My next step would be, okay, you all think this is a great idea, you all are gonna go out and look at the areas, you can tell me, hey, I think we should work with West Pullman first as opposed to Roseland. Then I'll be like, okay, fine, then what I can do is, out of these properties, look and see in the areas, what are they selling for after they've been taken care of?
Okay.
Is this gonna give us, you all a better return on your money? Or will Roseland give you a better return on your money? I can go in and pull up what was being sold last month, what the sales were for last month for Roseland, and what the sales were last month for West Pullman. You know what, now that I'm talking, I should've did that, cause I could've done that in Air Force Parks and brought that, printout as well, which would've shown you the median sales price.
I believe it's West
for
Pullman.
For West Pullman, and the median sales price for Roseland for 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, and how many baths, and you would've seen it in a color chart, which is what I did, and then Beverly, I put that on there.
Oh, yeah, you did.
CMA. Yeah. So, a lot of times, I'll put that on the CMAs, so that it gives, people a better idea. If you're buying a 2-bedroom house, what it behooves you to add another bedroom? And see
Right.
what it's selling for. What kind of return would you get if you added another bedroom?
Right.
Or another bath? So it's helpful to see those statistics. So I can pull up those statistics and I can email them to everyone so that you'll see, and it'll give you a better idea of what is being sold, what has sold for May, because right now it's giving us May statistics. So I just say this is the median price for what's been sold in Roseland for May. And then you'll see one for what's been sold in West Pullman for May. It's gonna be by bedrooms, by square footage, and by baths. So that's what I'll email to everybody. As a matter of fact, I just put it in WhatsApp. And then you'll see it that way. And then I'll have to individually email people.
That'll work.
Well, just to piggyback on what she just said, if, let's just say, for example, if Michelle and Brian pick up a property at one parcel, but the property right next door to that property is so bad that it would bring her value down
Right.
if she didn't, rehab it. I personally would purchase that property, tear it down, and rebuild another one next to her. That would raise her
Instead of
value.
putting all that money in.
Instead of trying to rehab it,
Yeah.
I'll just tear it down and rebuild right
Yeah, some properties may need to be torn down, as opposed to rehab. It depends on how bad a condition
there. It
the
is,
structure is, the
yes.
foundation is, and what amount of money it would take to redo all of that stuff. It may be cheaper to tear it down and start over.
Yeah, cause some of those places you have to put new, plumbing and
Right.
electrical.
Exactly.
Right.
It's cheaper to just tear it down. And with the developers, well, contractors that we have in our network, we have enough contractors that we get enough bids and architects and all that other good stuff. You know, that we can get those things at a competitive rate.
Like the one in Harvard, 9627 is on the north side of 57, I'm sorry. It's in the back lot, it's for 19,000. That one is, candidate to tear down because of the location. The very first one, for the CMA. No, I'm in the,
That's Roseland.
that's Roseland? 9627 from Harvard?
Yeah. Don't you, it's an R at the top of the paper, right?
That's
The R,
for
is it an R at
Roseland.
the top?
And you might wanna
These
write
are
it down, Roseland. And then the other one was
Is
the
with the WP
WP,
is what's called.
West Pullman.
So, yeah, I'm looking at it, and yeah, it's basically probably a tear down. I'm looking at the house right here. I'm looking at
Yes.
I'm looking at the roof. I'm looking at the, soffit and fascia, which it looks like this is wood. It's surrounded by trees. No, that's the garage, that's the back. I hate it when you pull up a picture and it takes you to the back of it.
Pete, do you have any idea of when you do a tear down and build it back up, what's the average cost?
No, that would be a
It'll
possibility.
be
That
up
would
to
be a
3 by square
possibility.
footage, right?
Well, not only that, because you have to determine, yeah, but you had a great question at first, what is the ARV, you know, of that, and what you plan to do with that property? Because you may wanna put a townhouse, you may wanna put a single family, you may wanna put a two-flat.
It gotta be,
So-
make that, sorry.
And what is zoned for.
Yeah, it's what it's on for, exactly. Just what
What
it's
is
on.
zoned for. And that it stays uniform with the rest of the homes on that block. So there's a lot of factors that you have to, determine when you make that determination or that decision. And bringing in, the proper team to do it that can help. Cause I personally, I don't even know which end of the hammer to use. So I would probably, I will bring in the person who has the expertise, who would tell me and give me a feasibility study, to tell me exactly what I'm going to be spending to redevelop this parcel of land, once I tear it down, from demolition all the way to rebuild.
Last demolition I did on Vince Hill was about 10 grand.
Okay, so now if.
And that's been
For
far
that,
back. but
that
it's-
particular property, if you read it, it says excellent opportunity for an experienced contractor, handyman, or investor. The property sits on 2 city lots and is sold in as-is condition. So if you had 2 lots,
Right.
that's 2 houses.
That's 2 houses.
Right there.
That's 2
Okay,
houses right there.
so even if you bought it at 19, what they're asking,
Yeah.
tear that crap down, whatever's on there, and build 2 houses, and you're getting
Get
twice,
double,
you
yes.
get double your money.
Right.
So,
You
this
see
is,
how- you see where that
this,
makes sense?
this is the kind of stuff, and then, you know, they're looking for, 19,000, heck, you know, if, you get ready to invest 35.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you got the 19 to purchase. I'm just saying, if you're looking at it that way, it sits on 2 lots. If it's on 2 lots, that's 2 properties that can be built. So you already won when you bought. And that's when you win. When you buy property, that's where you're winning. They say that all the time. You win when you buy property, not at the end.
Right.
Okay, you don't see it like that when you're buying, but you have to look at it going on. Even though it's got the address of 9627, I'm sure there's a 25 or a 29 that could be attached to that other property or something, because it sits on 2 lots.
Right.
As long as that other lot is buildable,
Yeah.
you can put 2 properties on there. And from what I'm looking at, it almost looks like it's not even a house on here, but it says it's a 1 bed, 1 bath. But it sits in the back. It's not at the front like the rest of the houses. So as an investor, I would wanna tear that down anyway, because I would want them to have a backyard and bring that house forward.
Yeah.
So those are the things, that's what, you know, we may say, okay, I provide you with a list and you all go drive around and look. Cause I'm not getting ready to drive around and look at all of these things, but I'll present them to you and say, hey, these may be some good ideas for us to be looking to invest in. Go take a look and see if you're interested in these properties. This is the block we're looking at. And as the person that wants to put up the money and buy that property, it would behoove you to go and do your research. Go look at that area. I can give you statistically what's been sold, what the price is, what the return is gonna be, but it's up to you to decide, do I wanna buy in this area? Do I wanna buy on this block? Do I wanna take on this project? So, two lots.
Keep in mind what our objective is. Our main objective is to change a community.
Right.
So when we going in, we're looking at our futuristic values.
Right.
When we're looking at these projects. We know that we're gonna be changing the property values of that community, so when they see us coming in there and doing this, they're gonna be bringing in more businesses to help this community stabilize. And that's what we're trying to do for Rosa.
And Westport.
And Westport.
Either one, those are the two we kind of focus on, because they're moving up. They're trying to revive themselves. So, we wanna give them a hand up.
Boost.
Yeah, so.
Something I'd like to ask the group, I know some of you have built new construction homes. I've experienced it in another state, but not here. I've heard like negative things from other, and these were people who flip properties and it's just opinion, or opinion means nothing. I'm just curious about, to build a home versus rehabbing a home. I've heard that there's a lot of cost involved with the city. The city, I know they can hold up your permits and all those kinds of things. Does anybody want to share something with us who's experienced that around, what we might be dealing with in building a home in the city versus rehabbing one?
Can I address that?
Yes.
We've been discussing, communicating with the city officials in that particular, in whatever target area, we're gonna be talking with the precinct captains, the aldermen, the committeemen. We're gonna be even talking to the police department and having them to police our areas where we're gonna be spending our money. But as far as getting permits and zoning and things like that, we know that we can work with the city officials. They can expedite things for us and with us that would avoid some of the pitfalls that some of those other ones have encountered.
And I was
That's
also,
our
I was
mission.
gonna say, even though you have to leave the police department out, they got the game full for it, believe me. But maybe with the other part, like the aldermen, just like that, we may have opportunities there for the city.
I mean, to address that, I'm a taxpayer. And if I'm gonna be spending my money developing a
When we
particular
call some
lot,
guys over here, when we call some.
if I'm gonna be spending, if I'm gonna be spending $50,000 to
I agree with you.
$100,000 on a particular area, and I've got 4 or 5 other investors, believe me, we're gonna make it, we're gonna be talking to that desk sergeant, we're gonna be talking to that commander, and saying, we're gonna want you to bring some
I mean, we're not asking for security, we just
Okay.
talking about patrolling
Oh,
the area.
patrolling the area.
Okay, okay.
Something
Which they
I,
already do.
Anyway.
Who's it, right?
remember we talked about a couple meetings back, that for us to get out and try to start meeting our aldermen and all of that. So I did in fact call my alderman because I wanted to see what that experience was like and to get an idea of what kind of things to ask and that kind of thing. Just for you to know, and I think maybe we can start approaching it as a group as we have things in place like our package and all those kinds of things to present. But I was told she doesn't have meetings with people, I cannot get an appointment, and that I needed to just start going to that weekly Thursday. In my community, they have a meeting on Thursdays. Yeah, where they, it's on Thursday.
A lot of areas and suburbs have, council meetings or whatever.
Yeah, about things in the community, yeah.
So, yeah, if you can't get a meeting with the alderman or whatever, cause they don't meet with people or whatever, then you just have to start going to the meetings. And then, letting them know what it is you're trying to do, and that
Develop a
you,
relationship.
right, develop
Yeah,
a
but that's
Yeah,
relationship.
because they got, like Alderman gave me a list of properties that's in the area that's like vacant or whatever. So you just keep going to those meetings, because that's when they're ready to talk to you about anything that's
Absolutely.
going on.
So you went to the meeting and asked them for, can you guys?
Yeah, I asked him when he send me a list of the properties that's in Auburn Gresham,
Oh, yeah.
that's vacant, cause I'm investing, I wanna start trying to build that area up, and he did, he sent me a list.
You know
Beautiful.
why he did? Because he wants the
There,
area
yeah.
filled
Means
up,
so.
right.
But I brought that up because I wanted the group to know, it's not gonna be an immediate process of trying to. So go, get on out there and start meeting these aldermen so that you can start working on developing relationship, because that's something that will take some work and some time.
Absolutely.
And, you know, they wanna feel that you're credible and you're consistent and those types of things. But I did ask for a list of vacant lots in my area, because I'm interested in trying to build a new home. I wanted to see what that's like, and get the exposure and experience to that. And they did provide me with this link, but I don't understand it. That they sent, and it looks like only
Are you in Chicago?
through the city, yeah.
Yeah, so was it through the Cook County Land Bank?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the county, but it was, you know,
Building
keep going,
department.
I'll see if I can find it.
Cause here's,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
you know, if you're fishing in the wrong pond, you're not gonna catch any fish.
Right.
But if you know where to go, for example, fire damage properties, why not go to the fire department in your local area? Or either go to the city, and they'll give you a complete list of fire damage properties, people that have expired, water bills. What else? Tax liens. Anything you wanna know about a property.
The city of Chicago is different than like the suburbs, and I'm gonna tell you, cause let's say you did that in Chicago Heights. They're gonna tell you, drive out there and look for it, and then send them a list of the properties you're interested in, and they'll let you know basically who owns them. They're not gonna give you the list, and you have to provide them, because they have like an abandoned property, program. But you have to tell them which
Talking about
ones
city
that
or
you're
what?
interested in.
Is that what the city?
Chicago Heights, City of Chicago Heights, yeah. So they have an abandoned property program, but you have to give them like about 10 abandoned properties that you might be interested in. And then they'll tell you basically who owns them if you're able to purchase them or
Oh,
whatever. But then you can't do like 1 or 2, you gotta have like 10.
Oh, okay.
In the city of Chicago, you gotta go down to
To
City
the
Hall
city,
and
yeah.
pull
Yeah.
those
Well,
properties up.
I used to have to do that, but now, the building department, if you call them and you talk to them nicely, or one of the clerks, they'll provide you, they'll tell you where to go on the website to pull a list of people who have, I'm trying to say, code violations. Code violations. You can get a code violation list for your particular neighborhood or your zip code. Just like, and it's online.
Interesting. So real quick, before we proceed on, Gustavo, you were talking about, you have a little bit information regarding building, right?
Building, yeah, because I was just gonna answer the question of the permits. Well, it's gonna be, obviously, one of the things that helps is, if you have an architect that's already working with the city of Chicago, they'll help kind of process, because like just kind of like everybody was saying, relationships, right?
Right.
If those architects have a relationship with the people there, then that's gonna help with facilitate exactly, because, you know, it's at the end, Chicago's relationships all the way, so that's the way that works.
It's all politics, trust me.
It's in politics.
And once our name, once Sip's name gets out there in these neighborhoods, trust me, they're gonna be calling us.
That is, yeah. So once they get to know us, it's different. Like in the beginning, it's always hard, but then once
It's
they
gonna be
get
a
to know
fight.
who you are, then it becomes an easier, and easier. You start having people's personal numbers, you know who's the inspector gonna be for your property, so then it becomes, then it
That's why
becomes different.
It's also good to get, know the city inspectors, they come out and do the inspections too.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
That is so true, cause I'll tell you, when I was working in Harvey, they only had like one inspector, and, you can best believe I got to know this inspector because he came to every single inspection. And he got to the point where he was like, well, I know you did it right, and I'm not gonna, you know, and he would just breeze through and pass the inspection because I think I might have like missed one little thing. He was like, okay, as long as you correct that, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it. You know, so as long as you develop some kind of rapport, even though it's with a couple of them, cause I even had one come in and, we just got to talking and we were cordial and it was like, it was a breeze. It was a breeze. It's not as bad as you make it out to seem. You make it hard, if you're cordial with them because they've had a bad day, they don't, you know, you can sometimes talk your way out or into problems.
Right, right.
You know, it's just how you, address them.
Yeah.
And how your tone is with them.
Mhm.
You know, you got to talk with a smile, whether you want to or not, no matter what you've been through bureaucratically with the city or whatever before they got there. Don't worry about that. You know, just say, hey, you know, how you doing today? You know, just be like that.
Yeah.
And that could change a whole lot.
Get more bees with honey.
It really change. What you say?
Get more bees with honey.
There you go.
Gotta do it. Put it aside. Wait till you leave.
I had a funny situation where it's just a funny story where I had he was very difficult, this inspector came in, difficult. I'm like, he didn't even really take a look at it, he's just like, yeah, I'll get back. And then I'm just like, you know, we're trying to get our funds to cash out, and we're like, I think this guy's not gonna pass us because he was just an ass. But then I kept trying to be cool with him and talking like, hey man, just, you know, what do we need to do? And then at the end of it, later that couple of days, we get a pass. I'm like, that's crazy. I swear I thought this dude was legit gonna say like, you know, and he gave us a pass. I'm like, I'm glad I was cool with him the whole time.
The inspector for the property in Linwood, when we first started our project, we had to do a pre-inspection and a post-inspection.
Where in May, what do you say?
Linwood. Pre-inspection. Yeah, pre-inspection. So, this guy came in, he was a big guy, he was big, I just knew he was gonna give me a hard time. Me and him got to talking about the Bulls, got to talking about the Bears, we got to talking about the White Sox, he was talking about his family. And this dude, we spent more time, you know, talking than he did inspecting. We was just standing in the garage. Never did go inside.
Wow.
To make a long story short, he left after BSing with me for about 30 minutes. He left, and when we did the post inspection, he came in. He said, "I told you this was gonna happen. I told you that was gonna happen with the sports thing." Never did go in. And passed everything.
Wow.
Passed everything. Give us our occupancy certificate. We can close.
Wow.
So that is so important.
Yeah.
Your rapport that you have with these inspectors and appraisers.
Yeah.
Appraisals, absolutely.
It's a chapstick.
I had one appraiser come by and everybody was telling me that I should have got the permit to do electrical in my other house. And when the appraiser came out, I was like, oh wow. And when he got out the car, I recognized him, I was like, thank you, God. Because he was like, how much you trying to get? And I told him, he was like,
Yeah, see, each one of them are different, and I was on a webinar where they were like, ask the appraiser. And one of the questions somebody asked the appraiser is it helpful if we give you comps from other things? And the appraiser was like, yeah, the more information you give me, if I can use it, fine, I'll use it, you know, if it fits within the guidelines. So don't be afraid when your appraiser comes in and say, well, look, this one sold two houses over, you know, because I'll tell you, I had a horror story with an appraiser where they had picked some properties that, to me, you overlooked the ones that you should have used, so I had to appeal it.
Yeah.
And then they still, they had to stick up their hand, and they were like, no, we're not using yours. Mine were closer. They, fit the property better as far as the style of house and how many bedrooms. As a matter of fact, one of the houses that they used to comp for the house I was trying to sell was my property.
Wow.
Okay, and in my opinion, you shouldn't have used that because that was a 2-bedroom house and you compared it to a 3-bedroom house.
Wow.
You know, why would you use that? Because the other bedroom was in the basement. So why would you use that? They wouldn't take it off the list, they wouldn't use the ones I gave, and that was it. So, well, okay, so, I'll provide you all later on, this evening or tomorrow with the statistics.
You'll send one for the veterans? I want that.
I'll put it in the group link so you can register.
Great.
It's on Eventbrite.
All right.
So does anybody else have anything that they wanted to address? Now we're on to
Yeah,
the
miscellaneous.
miscellaneous part of it.
Anybody got anything?
Well, miscellaneous, we're gonna follow up Marlene. Marlene. Scheduling. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Scheduling.
Just set up a time now? We can do that.
We already have the, I'll just let you all know, listen. I've already gotten approval for this particular library for the next 2 months.
Oh, great.
For the third Sunday in July.
Right, in
third
August.
Sunday in August.
Okay.
I like this up there.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I did want to ask you guys, so on the website, you guys don't want like a portion of like when we buy houses or we sell houses, right? None of that. It's like the wholesale, right?
You wanna put that on?
Once we landed or completed our projects, we could put our finished projects on here. But as far as soliciting for properties, because we're gonna be targeting our area.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, so no.
we
So
don't
our
need
goal,
to-
our mission is to revitalize distressed areas, just say like currently we're focusing on, in whichever area we pick, West Pullman. Now, you can say at that point, if you have something to sell in this area, because that's the area we're looking at, then yes, we can do it like that, but we don't want somebody, say we buy houses and then they all the way out in Naperville.
Right.
No, we're not doing that, we're focusing, we want to let them know this is the area we're focusing on. If you got a property that's distressed, you wanna, do a quick sale or whatever the price, case may be, give us a call, contact us, so we're gonna need a, pop-up.
A contact form.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lead pipe.
So if you guys want to invite investors to invest with us in that, then to contact us also if they want to invest in some of the projects we're working on.
If they're interested, yeah, if you're in, and that could be a separate form, because we don't wanna mix the
I'll
two.
put a different page.
Yeah, right, so if they're an investor looking to invest in that particular area, then they need to contact us and we'll give them more information about the group. Once
We can
we,
team up with a group member.
right, we can link them up with somebody. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, so like, I kinda came in the end of this, but should they put like a good mission statement with the area that we're looking in, just kind of?
yeah, that's what I was kind of
Like
basically
highlighting the
right.
area that we're gonna be working
Right.
on and then some projects.
Right,
That's what he said something about after we finish the project, did you say that?
Yes.
yeah, we're gonna have before and afters on there, because what I also wanna do is like,
Bring
the
the
who
Chicago
are we?
investor groups together.
And then, just like in our credibility pack, when you did the bio,
I'm taking all of that from there.
here's that, and here's what they've done, here's some of the past projects we've done. Now, what we're focusing on is building a block, buying back the block. That's our mission, to buy back the block. So even though we've done projects in other areas, in other suburbs, now, this is our mission statement as SIP. SIP is buying back the block. But as an individual, here we had this member do this, we had this, and here's the before, here's the after. So they can see what we've done.
Beautiful.
And then
That
that,
speaks volumes.
yeah. it
I'll,
was-
I'll just leave it blank on the template, so that way we can just be putting it in
Right,
as we go.
yeah.
So something totally unrelated, and this is just some information I wanted to share with you guys. I'm in solar, so, right now there is, something huge going on where, they have been receiving incentives from the state to be able to cover the installation cost, and it brings down, the cost per kilowatt for any energy that they need. So let's say, somebody has a bill for $100, we put solar in their home with no out-of-pocket cost, and right after that, their bill would be going, to $60, but now they would be purchasing the panels instead of paying electricity. So there's a transfer of, the way that we produce our energy that is going on. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but next year, the savings that they have now, anybody that can install this year is gonna have the maximum benefit, because the year after that, some programs are changing and the savings are definitely gonna get cut down. So we wanna encourage as many people as possible to be part of the program while it's still the way it is now, before, you just pay more to the utility or to
And it's
your
still
energy.
not offered for flat roofs, right? You have to
We
have
do
to
have
pay.
flat roofs, yes.
Okay.
So some companies don't work with flat roofs, but we're brokers, so we work with different installers that can do flat roofs. Some people cannot do Chicago, but we have people that do Chicago, so some people don't work with municipalities like Naperville, but we also work with them.
That's
So-
also a great thing to do, you guys, when you're rehabbing a home or
Mhm.
building a home.
Everything green, energy efficient makes sense.
But then again, all this-
Before it became such a big thing in
Mhm.
Texas with, I forgot what it was called, but styrofoam walls and things like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
and
Yeah.
concrete walls.
Yeah.
This is the same called concrete,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
wanted- I was
the-
gonna ask you
Come
about the Gestapo,
Yeah,
right?
yes, yes.
Did you actually start building the home?
Yes, yes, so it's
So
not a
are we
home,
invited out to see it? We like to see
it's
it.
not a home, but you're definitely more than invited. It's the first permitted, structure in Illinois made out of hempcrete. So the last time I built a tiny home in Texas, but this was the first one in Illinois, and it actually went through the permit stage. Because before, a lot of people were building these, but it wasn't permitted because, it wasn't on the code yet. It just got on the code like 2 months ago. And,
And
so
so
now we're,
what exactly did you do?
so we framed it, and now we're casting it in place. So essentially, like your walls, let's just say so you can retrofit even like Chicago walls, but you would frame just like you would frame,
Yeah.
and then you would go, we went 4 inches off the 2x4 on this side, it's 4 inches, so it's a 12-inch wall, and then just filled it in with the hempcrete. So it's the hemp with the lime and the water, and then the benefits kind of like what I mentioned specifically, like with energy prices going up, it's just like the insulation property is way better than any of the, stuff that we would buy with fiberglass, like Arctic and all that. So the value, they actually have a wine cellar in France. This guy that was there, he's done like 150 different buildings. Mario is his name, the U.S. Heritage Group, and they have a wine cellar in London that they don't have no AC and no heater, and it houses the wine. So I mean, that just kind of shows the insulation
The
properties
efficiency.
and the
Mm.
efficiency. So
Nice.
the energy, it kind of goes, because I do see when she's talking about like energy costs are going up, and I know like California, they did the same thing before, where it used to be $1 for $1 exchange. You give me $1 of energy, I'll give you $1 back. And like the last, I don't know when they did, now they give you 50 cents for every dollar you give them. So that's kind of what's happening here in Illinois. And
So
energy.
it's basically like you store your energy with ComEd that you don't use during the day. Now, instead of like them storing it, they're in charge of you for that.
Just a little app, that's it.
Okay.
And then,
So couple questions on the solar. Is there like a generator, like, let's say the power goes out, you stored up energy, are you able to piggyback off of that?
So there are battery options.
Okay.
They do add to the cost. So instead of like, let's say I bring you from $100 to $70 with the solar panels, now with the battery included, that's more for an emergency in case something like that happens, right? So we don't usually recommend it you know, unless you want the luxury of having electricity when nobody else does, but if it's gonna be a long time, then, you know, it might be necessary. But it does, you know, help you not save so much, it doesn't help the savings. Right now, with the way that the program is gonna be happening, I think most people are gonna have to have a battery, so that they're not sending their energy to the grid.
Right.
So now it's gonna become more common.
And then the other question is this a purchase or lease?
We have both options.
Okay.
Honestly, as a property, sometimes I feel like, I don't know if it's how it works to do more lending, but I feel like the purchases kind of make sense because you get taxes, credits on it, so.
As opposed to the lease.
As opposed to lease, and they're getting the tax
They're
credit.
getting the tax
And
credit.
they're getting the check from the SRX, so it's like, if you're gonna sell the property, and you're gonna sell it with these panels, you know, kind of making it a benefit, you might as well reap the whole benefit of getting the SRX check and getting the tax credit, from the.
Okay.
I lease mine, I have it on all of my houses except for one now, but I lease, and, the benefit to me is that I don't have to worry about buying the battery, if the battery goes out or anything, cause those are pretty expensive from what I heard.
Yeah, so you see, like
But you have
you,
a warranty, right?
so you are protected, and any energy you send to comment, you're gonna get that back, right? But the people like next year, they're only gonna get half of that back, so they're still gonna have to pay for that. So then it's gonna be probably convenient to buy a battery instead of selling your energy to them and buying it back, you know, at half of market value.
Okay.
So you're safe on that, you know, but there's still, I mean, the lease is good too, you don't have to pay insurance, right? You take advantage of the tax credits, you're not getting the cash, but it comes included in the less monthly payment, so you're getting savings, right?
So how you selling this shit? How you selling this shit?
I save on the bill. My
It's
bill
only
used
on
to
there.
be
It's only on
like
there.
$200+ I'm only paying like $83 now.
Wow.
Oh, what?
So it's a big savings. I mean,
Oh.
I'm enjoying it. At first,
Oh.
wasn't thinking about doing it at all.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been leasing it for the last 3 years now, and it's saving me. And my last bill on this 2,500 square foot house, I just got a bill for $63, and you know I was jumping up and down.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
Do you all have any other questions?
Because we look, time's of the essence.
Okay, yeah. So it is now.
That's gonna be big.
It's 4:06.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna call this meeting.
I'd like to move.
But he makes it look
I'd
like
make a
brick.
motion that we adjourn this
So he
meeting for
makes
today.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Motion?
Aye.
Second. Thank you.
This meeting has been
All right.
adjourned.
Stand adjourned.
recording.
You're welcome.